The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, and I've never met someone who doesn't want to make self-growth normal, then make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Sugar! She stepped on the mic cord. What else with ranking and SEO and all this other stuff, and I really appreciate it because so much work goes into making these videos. I know this book is very popular with the subtitle, The Journey Beyond Yourself. What does that even mean? This part in the intro I just found so gripping. As you listen to this book, you will find that you know much more than you thought you did about some very deep subjects. The fact is, you already know how to find yourself. You have just gotten distracted and disoriented. Once refocused, you have the ability to find yourself. You have the ability to free yourself. Whether you choose to do so or not is entirely up to you. It's kind of an eyebrow raiser. Does it sound too good to be true? Let's talk about it. These are all just some notes and commentary that I wrote as I was listening to the book. But did you know that you have an incessantly chattering conversation in your head every single day? You do, and it argues with itself a lot. But you can watch yourself being angry. Be the subject watching the object. It's so weird to think about. Once you take a seat of consciousness, you can get rid of the personal disturbances. You just might see that there is a human being with a lot of issues with things. The author calls this your inner roommate. If you listen to the roommate enough and examine it a little, you might realize it's not the type of person you should look at for financial or relationship or weight loss advice, and this also sounds very weird to think about. And who are you? It's also very absurd to think about. Most people don't really know the answer to that question. I mean, you could say your name, but is that really actually the answer? That's just something people have called you your whole life. Once you become conscious of your consciousness itself, some of this stuff, to some people, I could see why they would think it's a little vague, but I think it's just as important to approach everything in this book with some sort of an open mind as it is to approach what the book is telling us to do with an open mind. You attain a different state, a state of just knowing who you are. Obviously that comes from meditation, but this is just a state. How do you manage it? Well, that depends on something. I will give you a hint. It rhymes with egg and beef. It's not really easy to guess. This variable, if you will, energy is what it is. Let's say you have this amazing relationship and they break up with you. Your heart is in so much pain. 3 months later, it's still shattered. You still think about them every day. You're still not as motivated to get up every morning and do your thing. And all of a sudden one night they call you and say, "I'm so sorry. I love you. I always did. I made such a mistake. I need to see you now." Hopefully they don't sound like that when they say all of that, but you hang out and spend all night talking. Maybe not all night, but you do talk a lot. And the next morning, you feel like the king of the world, and how did that happen? It's because you didn't keep yourself open. You closed yourself off after the relationship ended. You resisted the pain. You blocked it out. Everything someone could probably say about that, or I could probably say, first impression on it would, kind of be addressed by this. You are either trying to get rid of energies because they bother you, or you are trying to keep energies close because you like them. In both cases, you are not letting them pass, and you are wasting precious energy by blocking the flow through resisting and clinging. Realize how important your energy is, how valuable your energy is, yours. I think this is the type of book that will really persuade you to sweat the small stuff less. It'll give you so many different perspectives on what the self is. And it'll make you look at yourself a little bit more than, I don't know, some other consciousness-related books. Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. There's a deep place inside you where the consciousness touches the energy and the energy touches the consciousness. And that's where you let go. And letting go of that draw of the lower self is where you will make this ascent into a higher playing field. By blocking energies of the past, your inner thorns, what Singer calls them, those are not activated until they are touched. But you know, after that relationship, when you saw something on a billboard, or you saw a car that they had, or you were in their city the other night, that activates your inner thorn when it makes you think of them and all those memories. But when it's released from the heart, it's almost like everything hurts, and wow. I really think everyone is insane. I think we are all insane. After listening to this book, that's what I think. We think about how we're doing, we think about whether we like things or not, we think about how we can rearrange the world to make ourselves more comfortable, and we only really think about I mean, we do think about other things, but consciously speaking, a lot of the time we really do kind of just think about our psychological well-being, and that's because our psychological being is very, very damaged, typically. And that damage is the true price of freedom. It is. Like, freedom is not some external thing. I look at things like this, and then I look at America, for example, and I worry about us a little. And what comes out of us? It's this polarizing mixture of beauty and chaos. And our collective processings of these damages seems to be what results in that mixture. To anyone who hears that and thinks that sounds very vague as well, I could probably also see where they're coming from. But after listening to this book, I don't really think all of that is a good thing. Yet, to have a comfort zone so expansive that we can just easily do or try anything new or that we're even kind of used to every day, that seems to be how a great being lives. And in order to do that, you have to stop protecting yourself from what you see as dangerous. Any dangerous thing is a condition we label as dangerous, and that, according to the author, is what gets in the way of happiness. I like to say that happiness is a choice until it isn't. Toward the end of the book, he discusses death. It reminds me a little bit of how Robert Greene ended his book, The Laws of Human Nature. But this part about death talks about all the different things it can teach us, and oh my gosh, it's another estuary. I like to call it an estuary now in my reviews, where the end of the book ties the book's concept into like this greater meaning of why are we here. And for anyone who's like, estuary? What is an estuary? It's not even a word. What does it mean? I call this an estuary because an estuary is where the river meets the sea. And the river, it does meet the sea. Quotes. You will not be able to solve anything on the outside until you own how the situation affects you on the inside. You are not your thoughts. You are simply aware of your thoughts. Real spiritual growth happens when there is only one of you inside. Everything will be okay. What did I eat earlier that made me burp like that? Everything will be okay as soon as you are okay with everything. If you really want to see why you do things, then don't do them and see what happens. Direction 1. This is a perfect book, in my experience. I have not heard a single book that can introduce the reader or listener to spiritual studies and ideas. No book is as accessible with that introduction as this one, to my knowledge. Not even one of the two I am about to mention. I thought those were better until I heard this one. This one just made me like really think about that. But those other ones are nonetheless fantastic. Direction 2. Those books, if you like this one, definitely check out The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, my third favorite book of all time, and Levels of Energy by Frederick Dodson. That book is gonna blow your mind. It's insane. The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video, if you want to check those out too. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't know why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe. But if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere, and I'll see you then.